We just celebrated Veterans Day here in the U.S., and my next guest is celebrating a milestone for his foundation. Here to share this wonderful story, please welcome back to the program, Gary Sinise. Gary, always a pleasure to see you. I wanted to have you on this week to talk about this milestone in the work of your Gary Sinise Foundation, which is happening on November 19th. Tell us what it is.
Thank you, Raymond. We have a wonderful program at the Gary Sinise Foundation called RISE. It stands for Restoring Independence, Supporting Empowerment. And this is a home building program for badly wounded service members. We build these smart technology, mortgage-free, specially adapted houses for, people that have been very, very badly wounded. And I've been doing this now since 2010. I started raising money to build specially adapted housing before I even had the Gary Sinise Foundation. So the milestone you're talking about right now goes back to 2010, and between 2010 and November 19th, this will be our 100th home that we've provided.
Wow.
For somebody who's been very, very severely wounded or injured, serving our military.
Gary, tell me about the recipient of this 100th home, retired U.S. Army Sergeant First Class Joseph Bowser. Tell me about him, and why do you think these homes, these smart homes, are so important to these men? What do they tell you?
Well, they can change lives, not only for the service member, but for the family. What we're trying to do is provide technology in the home, wider doorways, bathrooms, kitchens, everything specifically designed to provide independence and empower the service member to be free within his home. If you're living in a house that's not designed for a wheelchair, or severe burns, difficulties that somebody might have, maybe they're paralyzed or something like that. Living in that home could be very challenging. So we specifically design each one of these houses based on the needs of each service member. And Joe was, gosh, it's 20 years ago, lost a leg. I was actually at the base, visiting the base, not when he got injured, but I had been to the base that he was injured on. It was called Camp Anaconda in Balad, Iraq. He was serving there, and a mortar round came in, and when he was walking across the base, and boom, it knocked him down, and he lost a leg. I met him, not too long after he was injured, and we became friends. He never asked for anything. In all this time, he got, his prosthetic. He was playing hockey. He was a younger guy at that time, and as time has gone on, he's gotten older. Things are a bit more challenging. He reached out to us, and I was all too happy to set my team on working with him and designing his special home. And next week, he's going to move into it with his wife, Michelle. They've been through a lot. They're a great group of people there. We love them dearly, and I'll be attending the dedication next week.
I love it. Well, I also love that you all tailor the homes. It's not a one-size-fits-all. You tailor it to the needs of that particular serviceman or woman. And in this case, Joe, gets a house that can accommodate his particular challenges, his particular difficulties. So God bless you all for that. I think it's such important and great work you do. In our polarized culture, Gary, supporting the military, especially those who are severely injured and have sacrificed so much for the nation, it seems that everybody can put aside their ideological differences and come together in at least that moment to care for our military and first responders. Are you seeing that, particularly as the political culture gets more heated around us?
Well, we have a lot of support. I mean, when you think about it, Raymond, post September 11th, there were thousands of nonprofits that started to pop up. People that just wanted to do something, to take action, to help our service members through difficult times. And remember, Afghanistan and the early part of the Iraq War, there were a lot of wounded in action and a lot of killed in action during this period of time. At one point, the hospitals, Walter Reed was so full They had people in the hallways, and it was a very, very challenging time. So we had a lot of people that were surviving injuries today based on the battlefield medicine and medical uh, experience of our service members who are taking care of these folks, so that years ago they wouldn't have survived these injuries. So we have a lot of wounded from the Afghanistan and Iraq wars. And we have a lot of people that are reaching out to try to do something to help. We have all kinds of folks supporting the Gary Sinise Foundation and the work that we do there. We have multiple programs that we're addressing multiple needs. I think we have those programs because I was doing a lot of support work with various nonprofits that were in multiple different spaces before I had my foundation. So when I started my foundation, we wanted to, be of service in many different areas. And I find that we have, there are a lot of people out there that are supportive. I think we learned some hard lessons from what happened to our Vietnam veterans when they came home. That was a challenging time. It was a divided time in our nation. And the service member returning from war fell through the cracks, and we treated them badly. I don't think there are a lot of people that don't want that to happen again, and I'm certainly one of those.
Well, and another issue that you all are really on the forefront of, and that we often forget, is the epidemic of suicides and PTSD among our returning veterans. I mean, the rate of suicides is 1.5% higher for veterans than non-vets. And that translates, by the way, Gary, I read this statistic, I almost couldn't believe it. That's an average of about 17 deaths a day. And I know you and the foundation are very concerned about this issue. What are you all doing to ease veterans' transition and civilian life and really support them in their mental health once they get home?
I'm glad you raised that, Raymond. That's a very, very difficult challenge because quite often, how often have you heard, that somebody decides that that's the only way out, to take their own life. And then you talk to their family and friends and they say, we had no idea. We didn't see any signs. You never let on. I mean, that has happened multiple times. So battle buddies, I think, are the peer-to-peer work from people that served with different members of the military. I think they can play a huge role in just reaching out to buddies who they've served with to just check on them, find out if they're okay. Quite often they won't say if there's any problem. But maybe, somewhere along the line, they see somebody they recognize from television or movies or something like that, talking about the services that are available to them if they're going through difficult times. And hopefully they will take the initiative to reach out and get those services. Services are available. At the Gary Sinise Foundation, we have many mental wellness initiatives. One of those things is we have, years ago, I was involved in executive producing a movie called Brothers at War. It's a documentary that showed military life. A buddy of mine followed his two brothers around in Iraq, and then when they came home and how it was like for them to reintegrate with the family. It was active duty military life. We decided to make a follow-up film to that called Brothers After War, where we looked at the people that we met in that first movie to find out how they are doing. Many of them had transitioned out of the military and were now veterans. And we wanted to talk to them about what it was like to return home from war, to get out of the military and move on with life. And now we're using that movie as a means to get people to express themselves, to talk about what they're going through. You watch this movie and you watch the veterans in the movie Brothers After War talking about what it was like to come home. And that when you see these people sharing their stories on screen in a big room filled with veterans, there may be a lot of veterans that haven't expressed themselves like that. And maybe that movie opens the doors. And we do workshops with veterans. I would encourage people to look up Brothers After War. We provide these workshops. We're trying to be as proactive as possible to reach out to people before they make that decision, that wrong decision, that decision we don't want them to make. There are services. We want them to know that we care about them. We just have to be proactive wherever we can. And the more nonprofits that are in this space, the better. And the more the VA can do, the better. We all have to work together to solve that suicide problem. We don't want that to happen to somebody who served our country.
No, we don't. God bless all those men and women, and you know the heavy price. Not only they pay on the battlefield, but when they get home, you know the wounds they carry with them. And I'm delighted. And it's so important that you're focused on that. Before I let you go, we have reported on and talked about your late son Mac on this show multiple times. His music, his legacy. Last Sunday, the President's Own Marine Band performed Mac's Arctic Circles, one of his compositions, at the National Cathedral in D.C. It was part of the Marine Corps birthday service. I want to play a little bit of that and then get your reaction. Gary, you were there. What did you think when you were hearing that?
Oh, well, you can imagine, Raymond. I mean, first of all, it's a beautiful piece of music. You know that music well. Mm-hmm. I can't hear it without cheering up and remembering what it was like to be with Mac at the recording session when the orchestra was playing that music. And the President's Own Marine Corps Band reached out to me and said that they wanted to play it the night before the Marine Corps birthday at the National Cathedral. I was knocked out by that. So, of course, I was going to go. And I went to the National Cathedral that day with Oliver Schnee, who's Mac's producing partner and composing buddy. We went together and we were standing there listening to the music. And I got to tell you, it was something. I have a cell phone video that Kristen, who's worked for me, she's a Marine herself, and she came with me. Yeah. She was doing a cell phone video, watching us watch the orchestra play that music, and it was something. And the great thing about it is more orchestras around the country are discovering the music, and they're reaching out to me and wanting to play it. And now I'm working on a third record, Raymond, of other music.
Yeah, I knew that. That's exciting. Where did you find the other music? Where was it?
In his files. I mean, I thought when I did the part 2, I did Resurrection and Revival part 2 after Mac died, and I found all the music. I thought I'd found everything. And I came on your show and we played some of it. And now I'm going to have to come on again, Raymond, because we got part 3 coming up. I found a whole bunch more music, and it's beautiful.
Wow. Well, Gary, you're welcome back anytime. We will leave it there. God bless you and the great work you're doing. For more on the work of the Gary Sinise Foundation, on behalf of our nation's military men and women, visit GarySiniseFoundation.org. Gary, thank you. Talk soon.
Thank you, Raymond.